The ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus once offered a timeless piece of wisdom. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. This advice, profound in its simplicity, resonates deeply with the essence of Stoicism, a philosophy centered on cultivating inner strength, clarity, and virtue in the face of life's adversities. In a world teeming with distractions and challenges, the company we keep plays a pivotal role in shaping the trajectory of our personal growth and philosophical journey. Consider the idea often quoted in modern self-development circles. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. While seemingly contemporary, this concept echoes the ancient Stoic insight that our associations inevitably influence our thoughts, habits, and character. Who we allow into our inner circle has the power to either fortify our resolve or erode our progress, drawing us away from the Stoic ideals of tranquility, resilience, and rational action. Today, we delve deeper into this critical aspect of Stoic philosophy by examining 7 archetypes of individuals who, if left unchecked, can undermine your pursuit of a virtuous life. These are not merely challenging personalities. They are obstacles to the cultivation of your highest self, subtle saboteurs of your mental clarity and philosophical equilibrium. Recognizing these patterns and learning how to navigate these relationships is not just a matter of practical wisdom. It is a moral duty to oneself. As we embark on this exploration, let us keep in mind the core Stoic principle. Our greatest power lies in mastering our own perceptions and choices. With this in mind, we will not only identify these 7 types, but also equip ourselves with actionable strategies rooted in Stoic teachings to maintain our composure, protect our values, and continue steadfastly on the path to personal excellence. So, before we proceed, take a moment to reflect on the company you currently keep. Are these individuals sharpening your mind like iron sharpens iron, or are they silently dulling your edge? Together, let's uncover the wisdom of the Stoics and learn how to safeguard our inner citadel from those who threaten to disrupt it. 1. The eternal complainer. Imagine a quiet garden where every flower represents a moment of peace and growth. Now picture a relentless storm passing through, uprooting blossoms and flooding the soil. This is the presence of the eternal complainer in your life. A person whose negativity washes over every interaction, draining your energy and clouding your ability to nurture a tranquil mind. While their grievances may appear trivial, their consistent pessimism creates a ripple effect, subtly undermining your emotional well-being and disrupting the harmony you strive to cultivate. The Stoics caution us against such influences because they challenge the very foundation of our philosophical practice. Complaints, by their nature, direct attention outward, toward what cannot be controlled. When Stoicism teaches us to look inward and focus on our responses, the danger lies not only in hearing these complaints, but in absorbing their energy, allowing their discontent to seep into your thoughts and weaken your resolve. Consider, for example, working alongside a colleague who incessantly laments the smallest inconveniences. Each meeting becomes a theater of dissatisfaction, whether about an imperfect strategy, an overcast sky, or a lukewarm cup of coffee. Over time, this negativity transforms the atmosphere into one of stagnation, where progress is stifled and enthusiasm fades. Even if you try to remain detached, their discontent pulls at the edges of your serenity, tempting you to mirror their perspective or lose sight of actionable solutions. So, how do we confront the eternal complainer without compromising our own peace? Stoicism offers 3 profound strategies. First, create boundaries. Whenever possible, limit your exposure to such individuals, much like shielding a flame from a gust of wind. If avoidance isn't feasible, perhaps because the complainer is a family member or close colleague, practice mental distancing. Picture their words as fleeting gusts of air, unable to disturb the stillness of your inner self. Second, guide the conversation toward solutions. If they bemoan a difficult situation, calmly redirect them. What steps do you think could improve this? By doing so, you subtly encourage them to shift from helplessness to empowerment, all while reinforcing your own focus on what can be controlled. Finally, embody Marcus Aurelius' wisdom. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Internalize the truth that their dissatisfaction is theirs to bear. It need not anchor your spirit or divert you from your path of personal growth. The eternal complainer is not merely a source of irritation. They are a test of your ability to uphold the Stoic virtues of patience, resilience, and clarity. Recognize them for what they are: a passing storm, transient and powerless against the calm, enduring mountain of your inner tranquility. 2. The drama magnet. Life, when lived wisely, resembles the calm flow of a river, steady, purposeful, and unburdened by unnecessary turbulence. But into this serene journey enters the drama magnet, a figure who thrives in chaos and pulls others into their vortex of emotional upheaval. These individuals often disguise their turmoil as passion or urgency, but their constant crises drain your energy and redirect your focus away from meaningful pursuits. The Stoics remind us that peace of mind is a precious treasure, cultivated through discipline and clarity. Drama magnets, however, act as relentless disruptions to this equilibrium, much like a storm thrashing against a carefully built bridge. Their chaotic presence can deceive you into believing that their conflicts demand your immediate attention. Before long, you find yourself entangled in disputes you had no part in, burdened by emotions and distractions that were never yours to bear. Imagine a friend whose life is a perpetual whirlwind of disputes. Today it's an argument with a colleague, tomorrow a falling out with another friend. Each time, they come to you for advice or validation, drawing you into their narrative. At first, you may feel compelled to offer support, believing it is an act of kindness. But over time, the pattern becomes clear. Their crises are recurring, their solutions absent, and your involvement a mere prop in their ongoing theatrics. How does one navigate the whirlpool of a drama magnet without being consumed? The Stoics provide practical wisdom. First, embrace the art of reflective listening. Instead of offering solutions or taking sides, mirror their words back to them. It sounds like you're feeling frustrated about this situation. This approach allows you to remain supportive without absorbing their chaos or amplifying it. Second, prioritize your time and mental space by becoming selectively unavailable. Allocate focused periods for personal growth, study, or contemplation, and protect these moments as sacred. Let it be known that during these times, you are not to be disturbed, no matter the urgency of someone else's drama. Lastly, ground yourself in the present moment. As Seneca wisely said, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. When the drama magnet attempts to pull you into their storm, anchor yourself in the here and now, where your power resides. Choose to invest your energy in what aligns with your values and goals, rather than being swept away by the crises of others. The drama magnet is a formidable test of your ability to guard your tranquility and focus. Recognize their pull for what it is, a distraction from your own path toward personal growth and inner peace. Just as a skilled sailor avoids whirlpools that threaten to sink their ship, so too must you steer clear of unnecessary chaos, preserving the steady course of your life's journey. 3. The persistent naysayer. Imagine you are an architect building a grand structure, a vision of your life carefully crafted through effort, learning, and aspirations. But just as you begin laying the foundation, the persistent naysayer appears. With each brick you place, they critique its position, question its durability, and cast doubt on the worthiness of your entire project. Their words may sound like advice, but beneath the surface lies a relentless tide of negativity that threatens to erode your confidence and halt your progress. The Stoics teach us to guard our minds against external influences that do not serve our growth. A naysayer's skepticism, if internalized, can distort your judgment and weaken your resolve. Unlike constructive criticism, which seeks to refine and elevate, the naysayer's comments are rooted in fear, insecurity, or a lack of vision, projected onto your ambitions. Their doubts can infiltrate your thoughts, making you question your capabilities and second-guess decisions you once made with clarity and conviction. Consider, for instance, sharing your excitement about a new endeavor, a career shift, a creative project, or a personal goal. The naysayer responds with a barrage of discouragement. That's too risky. Or, do you even have the skills for that? Their doubts, while veiled as concern, are like gray clouds casting a shadow over your bright aspirations. Left unchecked, these interactions can make you hesitate, lose momentum, or even abandon your dreams altogether. How, then, does a Stoic confront the persistent naysayer? The first step is to transform the interaction. Instead of presenting your plans for approval, ask for specific advice. What steps would you take if you were in my position? This shifts the dynamic, encouraging them to think constructively rather than critique destructively. It also provides you with the opportunity to discern whether their input holds genuine value or is mere noise. Another approach is to adopt the practice of positive confrontation. If their negativity persists, challenge them to consider solutions. That's an interesting perspective. How do you think someone could overcome that challenge? This not only deflects their doubts, but also reframes the conversation toward problem solving, aligning it more closely with the Stoic principle of focusing on what can be controlled. Finally, draw strength from the wisdom of Epictetus. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Let the naysayer's words pass through your awareness like a breeze through an open window. Acknowledge them, but do not allow them to linger or disrupt your inner calm. Instead, remain steadfast in your purpose, guided by your own reasoning and values. The naysayer's presence is not a definitive obstacle, but a test of your resolve. Recognize their doubts as reflections of their limitations, not yours. In the face of their skepticism, continue building your vision with confidence and resilience, ensuring that your masterpiece remains untouched by the gray strokes of their doubt. 4. The eternal victim. Life, in its essence, is a game of strategy. Each choice we make, each risk we take, determines how far we advance on the board. But among us exists the eternal victim, a person who views life not as a series of opportunities for growth, but as a rigged game designed to thwart them at every turn. Their narrative is steeped in blame and helplessness, perpetually casting themselves as the unwilling casualty of external forces. While their lamentations may seem harmless at first, prolonged exposure can subtly entangle you in their web of negativity. The Stoics urge us to take responsibility for our lives, to understand that while external circumstances are often beyond our control, our reactions and decisions remain our own. The eternal victim, however, rejects this principle entirely. Instead of navigating life with resilience, they attribute every setback to someone else's actions, the system's failings, or an unchangeable fate. Their worldview, if left unchecked, can erode your own sense of agency, leading you to question the power of your choices. Picture a colleague who repeatedly blames their lack of career progress on an unsupportive boss or a biased workplace. While some grievances may hold truth, their refusal to seek solutions or adapt ensures they remain stuck. Over time, their narrative begins to overshadow your own perspective, sowing seeds of frustration and despair. The danger lies not only in the energy they consume, but in the subtle invitation to adopt a similar outlook, one where problems are magnified and progress seems impossible. To navigate the presence of an eternal victim, the Stoics recommend a balance of empathy and boundaries. Start with compassionate detachment. Acknowledge their struggles without absorbing their defeatist mindset. Offer a listening ear when appropriate, but refrain from becoming their constant rescuer. As Marcus Aurelius advised, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. In this context, the greatest act of defiance is maintaining your own sense of agency and optimism. Set firm boundaries with kindness, but clarity. If their complaints dominate every conversation, gently redirect. I understand this is difficult for you, but what steps can you take to address it? Encourage them to see the power of action over stagnation. If their victimhood remains immovable, limit your exposure to preserve your mental peace. Above all, remember that life is not a game rigged against you, but a field of potential where growth flourishes through strategic moves and self-awareness. While the eternal victim may sit at the edge of the board, lamenting their position, your task is to keep moving forward, learning from your choices and adapting to the challenges. Let their immobility serve as a reminder of what you must never become, a passive observer in your own life. Instead, embody the Stoic spirit, taking each setback as a lesson and each success as a step closer to wisdom. 5. The Toxic Positivist. Picture life as a tapestry, rich with vibrant colors, but also threaded with darker shades that give it depth and meaning. The Toxic Positivist, however, refuses to see this complexity. To them, life is all sunshine and rainbows, a relentless mantra of good vibes only. While their optimism may seem uplifting at first, it quickly becomes a barrier, invalidating the richness of human experience and dismissing the value of confronting life's inevitable challenges. Stoicism teaches us to embrace life in its totality, the joys, the sorrows, the triumphs, and the trials. It is through this balance that we grow in resilience and wisdom. The toxic positivist disrupts this harmony by denying the importance of struggle, suggesting that any acknowledgement of hardship is a personal failing. Their approach can leave you feeling isolated and misunderstood, as if your authentic emotions are unwelcome in their curated world of perpetual happiness. Imagine sharing a moment of vulnerability, a loss, a setback, or a deep personal struggle, with someone who immediately responds, "Just stay positive. Everything happens for a reason." While their intention may be to comfort, their words dismiss your pain and deny you the space to process it. Over time, such interactions can make you hesitant to share genuine emotions, fostering a superficial environment that prioritizes appearances over authenticity. How does one navigate the presence of a toxic positivist without compromising their own emotional depth? The Stoics offer a powerful perspective: balance. Acknowledge their intent to uplift, but assert the importance of facing both light and shadow. If they insist on focusing solely on the positive, gently guide the conversation to include nuance. "I appreciate your optimism, but I think it's also important to acknowledge the challenges I'm facing right now." This not only validates your own experience, but invites them to consider a more balanced view. Another strategy is to practice emotional granularity, the ability to articulate your feelings with precision. Instead of defaulting to broad terms like happy or sad, express the complexity of your emotions. For example, "I'm feeling a mix of disappointment and determination. While this is difficult, I know it's teaching me something valuable." By modeling this balance, you not only protect your emotional integrity, but subtly encourage the toxic positivist to broaden their perspective. As Seneca wisely observed, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. This wisdom reminds us that happiness is not the absence of hardship, but the ability to navigate it with grace and understanding. Life's garden requires both sunshine and rain to flourish. When confronted by the toxic positivist's insistence on eternal sunshine, remember that it is the contrast of experiences that allows us to grow stronger and more grounded. Ultimately, the toxic positivist is not an adversary but a reflection of a misunderstanding about what it means to truly live well. Engage with them compassionately, but remain anchored in your own truth. By embracing the full spectrum of life's experiences, you honor the Stoic path, a path that values authenticity, resilience, and the wisdom born from embracing both light and shadow. 6. The Manipulator. Life, as the Stoics teach us, is a journey of self-mastery and alignment with our inner virtues. Each choice we make, each action we take, shapes the narrative of our lives. Yet, within this journey, we may encounter the manipulator, a subtle yet profoundly disruptive figure who seeks to rewrite your story to serve their own agenda. They do not shout their intentions. Instead, they weave their influence through emotional coercion, guilt, and flattery, slowly steering you away from your path and toward theirs. Manipulators are masters of subtlety. They craft scenarios that make you feel indispensable, framing their requests as opportunities for you to demonstrate your kindness or loyalty. Consider a friend who frequently persuades you to shoulder their responsibilities under the guise of needing help during a tough time. At first, you may oblige, feeling noble in your support. But over time, you notice a pattern. Their tough times never seem to end, and their needs consistently outweigh your own priorities. You find your resources, time, energy, or even finances drained, all while your goals quietly slip further from your grasp. The Stoics remind us that we cannot control others, but we can govern how we respond. In the case of manipulators, the first step is awareness. Recognize their patterns and acknowledge when their actions conflict with your own values. Once aware, you can employ a practice known as fogging, a method of neither outright agreeing with nor rejecting their requests but neutralizing their emotional leverage. For instance, if they appeal to your generosity with, "You're so successful. This would mean the world to me," you might respond, "I'm glad I've been able to achieve success, but I need to focus on my commitments right now." This deflects their manipulation without unnecessary confrontation. The next step is to establish boundaries. Manipulators thrive on blurred lines and undefined expectations, so clarity is your greatest tool. Clearly communicate what you are willing to do and what you are not, and enforce these boundaries consistently. For example, "I'm happy to help you brainstorm solutions, but I won't be able to take on this task for you." Boundaries are not acts of selfishness. They are affirmations of your respect for both yourself and the other person. Finally, take inspiration from Epictetus. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. By refusing to be swayed by manipulation, you reclaim your role as the author of your own narrative. Remember, the manipulator's power lies not in their actions but in your willingness to let them dictate your choices. Engaging with a manipulator is a test of your resolve and self-awareness. While it is tempting to view them as adversaries, they are also opportunities for growth. Challenges that demand you practice discernment, courage, and autonomy. By confronting their influence with clarity and grace, you reaffirm your commitment to the Stoic path, ensuring that the pen remains firmly in your hand as you write the story of your life. 7. The Time Vampire. Imagine your life as a finely tuned orchestra, where each instrument represents an essential aspect of your existence: work, relationships, self-care, and reflection. The conductor, your conscious mind, orchestrates these elements in harmony. But then enters the time vampire, an uninvited player, interrupting the symphony with trivial demands and endless distractions. Their seemingly benign presence masks the true cost of their interruptions. Your most finite resource, time, is steadily drained away, leaving your priorities scattered and your focus fractured. Stoicism teaches us that time is among our most precious possessions, not because it is abundant, but because it is irretrievable. Every moment lost to idle chatter or unnecessary obligations is a moment stolen from your growth and purpose. Time vampires, whether in the form of a colleague with trivial interruptions or a friend who demands excessive attention undermine this principle. They do not necessarily act out of malice, but from a lack of awareness about the value of your time. If left unchecked, their disruptions accumulate, turning productive days into fragmented hours and leaving you with little energy for what truly matters. Picture a coworker who repeatedly stops by your desk to discuss inconsequential topics, or a friend who insists on endless social gatherings despite your packed schedule. At first, these intrusions might seem harmless, even pleasant. But over time, you notice the toll: unfinished tasks, mounting stress, and a growing sense of frustration. Your focus, once sharp and directed, becomes dulled by the noise of their interruptions. How, then, does a Stoic handle the time vampire? First, embrace the discipline of strategic refusal. Politely but firmly decline invitations or requests that do not align with your goals or values. For example, when a friend suggests an unnecessary outing, respond with grace but resolve. "Thank you for the invite, but I need to focus on a project right now." This not only safeguards your time, but subtly communicates the importance of prioritizing your commitments. Second, adopt a structured approach to your day, such as the Pomodoro technique. By segmenting your work into focused intervals, you create clear boundaries that protect your most productive moments. Let others know you are unavailable during these periods, reinforcing the sanctity of your time. Finally, practice the art of deliberate presence. When engaging with someone, give them your full attention, but recognize when the interaction has reached its natural conclusion. Avoid the trap of overextending yourself out of politeness or obligation. As Seneca reminds us, life, if well lived, is long enough. By managing your time with intention, you ensure that every moment contributes to the greater symphony of your life. The time vampire is not inherently destructive, but serves as a reminder to honor the Stoic principle of living purposefully. By recognizing their presence and addressing it with clarity and compassion, you reclaim your time and refocus your energy on what truly aligns with your goals. In doing so, you reinforce the Stoic ideal of living each day deliberately, crafting a life of meaning and mastery. Conclusion. As we conclude our exploration of the 7 types of individual Stoicism warns us to avoid, let us pause and reflect on the deeper lesson behind these archetypes. These people, whether the complainer, the drama magnet, the naysayer, or others, serve as reminders of the importance of vigilance in curating the influences we allow into our lives. The journey toward inner tranquility and self-mastery requires clarity, discipline, and the courage to protect what is most sacred: your time, your energy, and your values. However, the true essence of Stoicism is not only about navigating external challenges, but also about looking inward. As Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. While it is essential to identify and address these disruptive personalities in others, it is equally critical to ensure that we do not unknowingly embody them ourselves. Each encounter with these types of individuals is an opportunity for self-reflection, growth, and the reaffirmation of our commitment to live in alignment with virtue. If today's discussion has sparked new insights or given you tools to approach your relationships with greater wisdom, I invite you to take one small but significant action. Subscribe to this channel. By doing so, you're not just supporting a community devoted to the timeless teachings of Stoicism and personal development. You're also choosing to deepen your understanding of this transformative philosophy. Let's continue this journey together, sharing insights, engaging in meaningful dialogue, and empowering one another to craft lives of purpose, clarity, and resilience. Remember, the path to wisdom is not walked alone. It is illuminated by the shared experiences and reflections of those who walk beside us. Until next time, may your actions be guided by virtue, your choices reflect your inner strength, and your life be a testament to the Stoic ideal. a masterpiece shaped by wisdom and lived with intention. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's keep building a community that strives for growth and excellence. Together, we can ensure that the lessons of Stoicism endure, lighting the way for generations to come.